All right, so today, today we're going to go through the past, the present, and the future, and then also the keys to success. So follow me along with this journey. So the past. So in the past, when I first started at Schwab, I'll kind of click through these pretty quickly here, but we had a long line of people waiting to get their hands on Tableau desktop. We had a process that didn't enable those things to happen quickly. It would take people 3 to 4 months to get a license once they put a request in. And then people who had issues, it would take 6 to 8 weeks for us to get in contact with them to help fix those problems. So my first month and a half, I basically spent writing down things that need to be fixed process-wise. So and I struggled a little bit early on with somebody who didn't believe in what I believed in. And so I wanted to also fix that. I wanted to get that person to go with me on a journey of self-service analytics. So long wait lines, no end-user training. We didn't have anything available. When there was an issue with somebody's dashboard at long load times, the person before me would just tell them, go online and figure out how to fix it or we're going to turn it off. And so I was like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore, are we? So technology, we had 8 cores, 8 little cores. So we had, and very little automation was in place. We really didn't have a long-term strategic plan for Tableau. So, the person said, we only have 8 cores. We can't have that many users on here. And I'm like, well, let's give it to everybody and see how big we can grow. So I kind of had the exact opposite. If they come, we shall build it. So this is what we started with when I first started. So 8 cores, 80 desktop users in 75 different departments. We had 90 projects in Tableau Server. We had 200 data sources, 800 workbooks, and 5,000 interactors. This is all approximate, not exact, but yeah, so very slow data in Tableau Server. So it was 2 to 3 minutes for load times on dashboards. That was the norm. Come on, homie. Stay with me here, buddy. Practice makes perfect. All right, so we knew where we are, but where did we start? So I started with a mission statement. This was my goal, to be the #1 BI and visual analytics tool and support team at Charles Schwab. We will do this by providing a seamless process, great information and guidance so that Tableau becomes the tool of choice for our data users. Our application will become the support model for all tools on our team and then beyond. Our goal is to make our users happy, satisfied, and supported when using Tableau. So it was about our users. And if you ask me if I've reached my goal, no, I'm only about 1% of the way. I see groups that handle issues quickly, friendly, their processes are down tight. Those, I want to emulate those people. I want to become better than them. So our plan of attack, and believe me, this was about 6 pages long on a Word doc when I turned it in about 6 weeks after I started at Schwab. But basically, it came down to people. Make it easier to get and use Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. Provide Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server training and support. No more punishing people because they didn't know how to use it properly. Shorter wait times and better processes in place for Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server access, and better and faster automation platform. And yeah, there's me, Daenerys Targaryen, just in case you didn't notice. So yeah, in our planning. Initiatives with our Tableau support superheroes. So this is my hashtag. You don't have to do it all yourself. So I don't know if Jack Morgan and his team are here, but they really helped me a lot when I was alone. I have my Tableau user group leaders all here in the blue shirts, and they've picked up the slack along with them. So, but I'm going to take you guys through Jumpword Tableau, Charles Schwab Tableau user group, our Tableau doctor sessions that we have in place, and then our Tableau software support team. And I have them in the room too. So Jumpword Tableau. So this is our SharePoint site. It's just critically acclaimed in my group. So in the global data technology team, we're actually going to turn all of our sites into this. So when I say critically acclaimed, you get a lot of praise for it on my team. So I'm going to take you guys into each of the sections. And as we go through some of this stuff, I want you guys to keep in mind, those of you who are running Tableau Center of excellences at your companies, keep in mind a couple of things that you can take back to your own companies and try to put in place. And if you guys need help doing that when you get back, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give you some suggestions. So Jumpword Tableau. So overview. This is our new overview. We just put this in place this week, but this tells you where to go. We have product releases, and we also put our Tableau COE announcements on here. And then we have product info. So this is where people can go if they want to learn more about Tableau Desktop. Well, guess what? You can watch a video right there. You don't have to reach out to Jessica to find out more about it. And links to info on tableau.com. So again, we don't try to redo what Tableau is doing. We try to make that readily available to our end users. And training and maintenance. So we have calendars available. People can subscribe to them. So when we put new training in place, people can get an email right away saying, hey, this training was just added to the calendar, and then you can go right to the training calendar and sign up from there. The same thing, when we have maintenance, we need to take Tableau server down or dev down, we'll put maintenance alert up, and people can get those emails right away. It's so funny when people IM me, hey, did you know Tableau server dev is down? Hey, are you subscribing to our maintenance page here? So that's one of the things we do. And then we also have links to outside training resources. So again, tableau.com, or sometimes I also run the Alteryx COE. So if Alteryx reaches out and say, hey, we have this free all-day training session going on at the Marriott, we'll stick that on there too. So next is our resources tab. So this is where you can get to Tableau Desktop and server request. And this is where you can download tools and drivers. We have our TPS, our Schwab color preference file, which is really cool. And occasionally we get questions on how to add that in, but we do see a lot of people utilizing that. And then we also have best practice info on here. And then we have support. So this is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So this is our Tableau support page. So this is a community page where anyone can ask and answer questions. So any of our Tableau desktop users can ask questions. And when people email us in our COE email box, it takes us 3 to 5 days sometimes to get back to them. It's just young Deepak and I managing this whole thing. So we ask them, we tell them, you can get this question answered a lot faster on the COE page. And so our user groups and, different people around the company ask questions about using Tableau Desktop. If you have a calculation question, guess what? I'm probably not going to have an answer for you right away. But one of these guys will jump on a call and walk you through it. So this is the place where when I was down to one person on my team, just me, I would tell everybody, please, if you need a question answered, go here. And these guys all stepped up to help support our users. And then My Tableau. So this actually, we have a map built in Tableau Desktop and using Alteryx workflow that shows all of our developers across the United States. So this is actually an older picture, but just this past week we hit our 400 desktop user mark. And we also have links to Tableau admin dashboards, so people can manage their business better. And then we also have a tab on there for our Tableau user group, and I'll go a little bit more into that a little bit later here. All right, so going off of Tableau user groups, steps to create your own Tableau user group. So how many of you out there are involved with the Tableau user group? A lot of you, awesome, great. Okay, so here's how you can get that started on your own at your own company. So step one, find some leaders. So the first thing I did last year, we went to the conference and I mentioned to Brian and a few other people, I said, hey, I'm looking at starting a user group. Do you guys want to help? The first thing I did was find some leaders. We also sent an email out saying, hey, looking for some people that want to help us do this. And all of these great people that are here today helped me put that in place. Next thing we did was send a survey. What do you guys want out of this user group? We asked our users that, and we probably had about 100 responses, and from that, we basically figured out our agenda for the first year. And then we plan our meetings. So about once every week or once every 2 weeks, me and the leaders get together on a call, and we talk about what we can do to put in place. We also get Kelly Jones on the line. We usually get Sue Neidig and also Lovekesh Babar, and they're a part of our team too. So they join those calls with us. And if I say, hey, Kelly, can you find me a speaker from Tableau on this subject? She goes, sure, Jessica, I can do that. And then a week later, she gives me a name of somebody that can speak on something, and they come on and join us in our meetings. And also, our meetings are fun. Like, we usually spend about 30 minutes joking and laughing about ideas that we have for the training. And then we spend the other half hour actually getting tasks in place. And what's so cool is that I remember in my last company, tasks, I would usually go, okay, I could take this one and this one and this one, and I'd end up with 10 tasks, and then one other guy would get one other one. My user group, they volunteer for everything. So usually it's me going, okay, well, I'll just plan the next meeting. But these guys are doing, 99% of the work. So I'm not doing it by myself. And then we have the meetings. So once a month, we have a Tableau user group meeting. We usually get our first one, I think we had around 100 users, but we usually get about 100 to 125 people on each call. And we record the sessions as well so that people can get to them online after the meetings. And we send more surveys for continuous improvement, right? So after the meetings, we say, hey, let us know what you think. What can we improve on? What are some ideas for future meetings? And would you like to speak in one of our next meetings? And then we have more meetings, circle of life. And then also, just real fast, I'm not sure if Dan Murray is here. Dan? Okay, not here. So Dan Murray, if you go to chapter 14 in Dan Murray's Tableau Your Data, you can get some ideas for getting started. He's got a great chapter there on, I believe it was Wells Fargo, but I'm not positive, on setting up a Tableau user group. And so we kind of took a lot of his ideas from his book and put them in place. So this is what our Schwab Tug meetings include. So we have viz contests. So one of our main winners here, March, sitting in the front here, he's our pro user right now. He's actually come up with the next viz contest. So this is Defy the Pie, and it gives you extra points if you include food in your presentation or Game of Thrones. I think the last one was anything from the 80s. So people can add different segments into their presentation. So we try to make them fun. We try to, and a lot of people come to me afterwards and go, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I actually found some ideas that I can use in my day-to-day work. So that's the point of these viz contests. And then we have the real world. So we actually ask for speakers around the company, around Charles Schwab, and those people get on for about 15, 20 minutes and talk about what they're doing with Tableau. So, sometimes they'll talk about API scripting, sometimes they'll talk about using R, and sometimes they're just sharing, hey, this is what I'm doing with voice analytic data, and they'll show us their presentations there. And then we have training, so that's when we have about a half hour set aside for, Tableau or even somebody from our own group to speak about, how to improve using Tableau. Last month we had Angie and Ann from Slalom Consulting come on and talk about improving your dashboards and building a home screen for your dashboards. So we do find outside people that are willing to come in and speak. And then we do a survey and a raffle. So when you fill out a survey, you get swag. So I get some swag from Sue. So Sue sends me boxes of swag when I ask for it, and we give that stuff out as prizes for people in competitions, and we give that out as prizes for people filling out our survey. And then we also include COE announcements. So when we have upgrades, we have issues going on, Deepak and I will talk about what's going on in the COE, and we can also talk about, different new things on the support and have that available as part of this discussion. So that we fit all of that into an hour, and every meeting is pretty good. Water, sir? Thank you. Good job. Okay, so next, utilizing our Tableau software team. So here's Sue, Kelly, Lovekesh, and Diana from Tableau. These people really have helped me change the way we're doing Tableau at Charles Schwab. So what I work with them on our new use cases. So when we have big new teams that are thinking about doing a big project in Tableau, I'll get Tableau to speak to them about what everything that Tableau does. And then I stay on the line along with Deepak, and we answer questions about doing those things at Schwab. So we kind of work together on selling Tableau or helping people use it better. So Tableau doesn't work independently of us, and we don't work independently of them. We're on the same team. Tableau user groups, like I said, they're heavily involved. They get on our calls, they're on our web meetings, they provide information, they provide suggestions for next time, they help us find speakers. Tableau doctor sessions, and I'll go a little bit more into that, but we have weekly and bi-weekly Tableau doctor sessions available. Again, these are things that you can ask your Tableau representatives to help you put in place, so utilize them. And then we have upgrades. So right now we have weekly pilot meetings for our Tableau 10 upgrades. Every week, every Tuesday morning, we get online with our users, and if they have questions on using desktop, we can help them with those, and we also make them go through test cases, and they can sit in those meetings and go through the test cases. But if there are issues that come up during those test cases, Niana, Kelly, Lovekesh, they're on the line to troubleshoot, and if they need to open a case, they'll do that on that call as well. Issues, again, these are the people that will help them. A lot of time my users will email them directly, but I usually tell people to go to tableau.com/support. But Niana will reach out to me and go, hey, this user's having this issue, and let's look at the Tableau server logs and let's try to troubleshoot this. So we work hand in hand in making sure that our users are taken care of. And new user training. So every month, Kelly and I put together a new user webinar. So every new user gets an invite for a webinar. Kelly hosts the web page on that. And we walk users through using Tableau Desktop, and we walk them through publishing into Tableau Server. And then usually people have questions about security in Tableau Server, or if they have questions about doing different things in Tableau Desktop, and Kelly and I are there to assist them with those things. And then we have growth planning. So, and I'll go a little bit more into that as well, but these people, they help me go through our data and help us plan out, what does the next 2 to 3 years look like in Tableau? I don't do any of this by myself. I don't sit at my desk for 2 weeks trying to figure out, hey, what does this look like in 3 years? I work with Tableau on this, and we get it done a lot faster. And I seriously love these people. So they help me, and I help them in return with sales, right? But they give me free swag, so it all pays off. This is us last night at the party in front of the Mandalay Bay. So our superhero team. So Brian, Chris, Deepak, Terry, Kelly, Sue, Lovekesh, Jared, Jeffrey, Brandon, and Brian, and Jason. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. So this is our Tableau Center of Excellence. It is not just Deepak and I who work on my team. It's really everybody who's involved in supporting our users. So Tableau doctor sessions. So Tableau Doctor works essentially the same way it does here at the conference. You come with a problem, and people try to walk through and work with you on fixing it. So we have these meetings set up weekly. Tableau software supports the registration and provides the experts. So Kelly put up a web page for us, and it's called the Schwab Tableau Doctor, go figure. And she provides somebody on the call every week so that we can get users taken care of, and our users sign up on there. If for some reason we need to cancel the meeting, usually they'll set up one-on-one meetings with the people that have signed up. And then Deepak and I are also available online to make sure that, if there's any internal questions, sometimes there's issues with using Teradata or figuring out how to use SQL at Schwab, go figure. Again, data's hard. Deepak and I are there to help those people out. And this essentially provides top-notch support for our desktop users. They don't have to feel like they're alone. And they don't have to suffer in place for days working on an issue. They can just sign up and wait till then. So 6 months ago, we had some big changes. So we didn't have any complaints or escalations anymore, but then we were down to one Tableau admin, so it was really just me. Process. On the process side of house, we had started automating a lot more things. Again, I worked with Jack Morgan and team, and he helped me put some automation in place in our SharePoint sites. And then we were able to handle issues a lot faster because, again, my Tableau user group leadership team were all over my community support page. So there really wasn't too many times where an issue came up that they couldn't help with the user with. And occasionally there was ones where they go, hey, Jessica, can you help this guy with this one? Because this is definitely a server issue. But we worked together to get things fixed. And still some reactive work being done, but we are working through it. On technology side of house, we have 24 cores in Tableau Server now. So we picked up 16 cores as part of a project. And then we had the addition of 32 cores in a new environment, a new physical server environment that was set up specifically for branch users to use across the United States. And still some automation. So back then, 6 months ago, again, I was alone, but a question came into me. This was from my VP. And she asked me, she said, Jessica, can you do any kind of forecasting on core expansion based on the demand we see? Like if we continue to see this kind of adoption, we'll need this many cores by quarter 2 2018 and this by quarter 2 2219. So that's when I called Sue, and I know she remembers this, and she probably hates me for it, but I called her at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday, and I said, hey, I got this question and I need some help going through logs and to get an answer quickly. She's like, Jessica, I don't think we're going to be able to help you with that. But then she called Lovecash, and she said, Lovecash, can you help Jessica with this? So Lovecash, we got on a call. By Monday of that week, we had prepared a whole presentation pack to give back to my vice president. We talked to her about why we needed the amount of cores that we did, and we talked to her about the issues that we're seeing in server because of the lack of cores that we had. We did not have separated backgrounders. So this is what we did. We used our data, go figure, right? So we created, here's one of the reports that we showed, and it was quite astonishing what we came out of. So we had 700 to 800 new users per month over just a 6-month time period. 80% of these people are returning each month to continue using those dashboards. And our daily unique count of users had gone from 590 to 1,100 daily. So we almost doubled in size. We went from 700 to 1,200 dashboards in Tableau Server in a 6-month time period. And our concurrency had gone from 108 to 200 users hourly. That happened in 6 months. So that was about 6 months after I had basically said we need to change the way we're doing Tableau. And so we started changing, and here's the data to kind of show it. So from that, we said we need an 80 core enterprise environment platform to be able to handle this kind of load. And we needed separated backgrounds. So this little report on the bottom right here shows basically the issues that were happening when extracts were pulling through and the backgrounders were doing their work. And so as part of this also, we wanted to show users their own business, right? So we had provided Tableau admin dashboards. These are the things that I pulled down from the web, and we took those, we populated them with our data, and then we changed some things based on what our users wanted to see. So we have daily, weekly, monthly usage reports. We have traffic to views. We have stats for load times, and this was a huge one. We actually brought in more data and show unique users and what their load times were. So if there's one guy that's pulling your average time to 80 seconds because his are taking 3 minutes to load and everybody else is at 2 to 3 seconds, you can reach out to that one guy and find out what's going on. And then we have workbook and data source last use. So I did a lot of work last year and reaching out to people that had dashboards that hadn't been touched in over a year. And I kind of explained to them that Tableau Server is not a storage device. I know you'd like it to be, but and I worked with them. And it was kind of surprising for people who had spent a lot of resources in 6 months on a Tableau dashboard to find out that nobody had touched it in 6 months because they hadn't given anybody permission. So we started being able to help people by, again, using the data. And we also have extract failures. And so that report goes out to me and Deepak and our other 2 contractors on our team. And we reach out to the people whose extracts are failing every day. And we say, hey, did you know that this has failed every day for the last 3 days? And those things we're able to disable at that point until people are able to fix them. So they're not causing those issues on backgrounders if they're timing out. And then permissions, we provided a workbook on permissions so that people can see exactly who has access to their dashboard, and they can better manage their permissions on their projects. One thing is so funny, the other day, one of our contractors, he's brand new, and he's trying to watch our servers while we're gone. He actually locked the permissions down and deleted all the other permissions on the project. But because of this dashboard being in place and the data had been loaded in before he did that work, they were able to quickly put the permissions back into place. So it's kind of a lifesaver. And then we've also this year, Deepak just recently, we've provided the Postgres TDS files to our end users. So if you guys want more out of these dashboards, Deepak and I don't necessarily have all the time in the world to spend on them. You can create your own. And I'm fine with that. And if you have something that anybody can use at Schwab, I'll put that in place of one of ours or alongside of one of ours. And we make our own users their own heroes at Schwab. So here's why what we do matters. So Terry, he's sitting down in the front here, and Don Lay, he came last year. He didn't get to come this year, but so here's a couple of quotes. This is actually for a case study that will be available online, should be next month for Charles Schwab. But so without Tableau, we would be stuck analyzing 150 terabytes of data in spreadsheets. Instead, we create dashboards that are actionable, secure, and that drive the business forward. That's what this is about. And Terry Risley, he's our Managing Director of Internal Audit. What Tableau has allowed us to do is have better discussions with the line of business about what we're seeing and how we're coming to our conclusions. How huge is that? How many times have you guys met with auditors and you have to spend six months of explaining to them what you do before they can go, okay, well, this is all the stuff you need to change now. Now this team is able to prepare data and show dashboards to these people. That way those people can go off and fix things, and they know that what they're looking at is true based on dashboards. So the present. So people. So no complaints and escalations anymore. That's my goal, right? Deepak has joined the team. We have 2 additional contractors for day-to-day support, and we have great synergy with our Tableau users. So when people reach out, we try to help them as much as possible. Process, shorter wait times and better processes in place. Improvement for Tableau training. We have our Tableau user groups. We have a Tableau doctor sessions, new user experiences. Issues are being handled faster, and focus on the whole instead of the part. And that was huge for me. We stopped picking on individuals for doing something wrong, and we thought, if this person's doing it wrong, there's probably 50 other people doing it wrong too. How do we train everybody to do it correctly? And still a lot of reactive work being done, but we're emphasizing, we're focusing more on, how can we automate more? How can we focus more on the future? This is not easy, and there's always room for change. So we work with our partners on getting that done. And technology. So now we have 80 cores. So we bought 80 cores this past summer, and we are now moving to Tableau 10.4 on November 3rd. So we're doing our weekly pilot sessions, and we're adding automation in regularly. So when I say that, I usually go, hey, Deepak, I think we should do this. And like 3 hours later, he goes, oh, I'm already testing in development, Jessica. He's like 2 steps ahead. So it's amazing to have, he's like the magic man. Jessica thinks of something, and then Deepak goes and makes it happen. All right, so our Schwab stats today. So we have an 80-core VM environment, 32 plus our 32-core physical environment. So it's a 77 increase in cores. We have 400 desktop users. Like I mentioned, we had 80 when we started. So that's an 80% increase in just a little over a year. We have 200 projects. That's a 55% increase. 600 data sources, 67% increase. So people are putting their data sources in Tableau Server. And we have 2,500 workbooks, so that's a 68% increase. And last, we have over 12,000 interactors in Tableau Server. So we went from 5,000 to over 12,000. We have almost our entire company on Tableau Server now. So we're just missing some of the branches out there, but we're almost there. So we are almost enterprise-wide in our Tableau Server expansion. And we have 121 departments building reports in Tableau Server now. And here's our most popular dashboard. It has over 10,500 views. This is actually built by Brian Openshaw. He's sitting in the back there. It's an ITSM, IT Service Management BI dashboard. That's our most popular. And that, interesting enough, that's the team that brought Tableau Server in originally. So it doesn't really surprise me that this is our biggest hit. All right, so heading down here the winding road, keys to your success. Again, people, process, and technology. Always keep those things in mind. Find your heroes. Find those people that want to go with you on your mission, on your journey. So again, my people in blue down here are my superheroes. My users that are sitting out in the audience, some of them are today, you guys are my superheroes too. My goal is for your goals to be achieved. Always think about the people first. The process and technology will follow. So once we started thinking less about the technology we had in place and thinking more about our users' needs, the technology followed. I was able to get those cores because all of a sudden we started focusing on our users. Process equals repeatable. So find those repeatable things that you can put in place and utilize those. Put the automation in place. If I'm doing something more than once, I can automate it somehow, right? So always keep in mind those things. And quick wins. So look for the things that you guys can put in place quickly. So that our Tableau user group, I sent an email out, I think in December, and we had our first meeting in January. And from there, it's just kind of built and grown. So that was a quick win for us. Even though we're doing it monthly, it provides a lot of benefits for our end users. And big picture solutions. Stop stabbing the user for doing something wrong. Think of how you can do it enterprise-wide, right? Big picture. And build a team of people that understand your vision. Stop working with people or stop wasting your time with people that don't get your journey or don't get your end goal. It doesn't benefit you to try to convince them that what you're doing is right. I know what we're doing is right. I know that giving my users access to Tableau is the right thing to do for our company, and that's where we're moving. So the future, so this is my Tableau team, this is Deepak, and this is RG. So again, I should give a lot of the benefit to him of what we've been able to put in place this year. Basically, he says, Jessica, go do your thing. So whatever I want to do, I go do it, and he just says, let me know if anybody complains. All right, I'll let you know, but nobody's complained, so we keep moving forward. So governance is one of our goals this next year. So we're going to be working with Das. He's my business partner. He's the business owner for Tableau on putting governance in place. You know, we have some things, but I just don't feel like we've gotten the big picture done as far as governance. And I've talked to a lot of people this week that are kind of in that same situation. But we want to define that, and we want to make sure that our end users are trained on it. More automation, right? And again, with Deepak in place, I can go, hey, we should automate this, and then a day later it's in place. So certified data sources. So that's coming out in the next version of Tableau. We're going to try to train our users and talk to them about certifying these things. And that way we can say, this team is 100% using certified data sources. And this team is one team we have to work with and get that done. And it's about training, too. More upgrades. So we want to do more upgrades. So it's so funny. People are like, when are we getting 10.5, Jessica? And we're like, we're just going into 10.4 in November, right? Like it's hard at Schwab to do upgrades, you know, because they take time and process. So Deepak is like, Jessica, I got this. We're going to go in January. We're doing 10.5 in January. I was like, all right, we'll do it. So, but, you know, as we see things that are going to benefit our users, we'll try to get those things in place faster. One consolidated environment. So this year we plan on moving, or this year, 2018, we plan on moving our 80 cores into the physical environment along with the 32. So we'll have 112 physical server and core and physical server environment. And then certified training. So we want to get certified trainers at Tableau so we can train the trainers, right? So we want, you know, Deepak and I to get those trainings. I also want my Tableau user group leadership team to get that training. I also want other, you know, March Home and other users across Schwab to get that training. That way we can, you know, get new users hooked up on the right way to do Tableau early on. And I want this to be enterprise-wide. I want everybody to be responsible for the enablement of everybody else in Tableau. And improvement. So we're always looking for ways we can improve. You know, I get suggestions from users. People have been texting me this week, hey, we should think about doing this. Guess what? Yes, we should, and we will. So I get feedback from end users on changing. You know, and I even had a group today, I think Corey's here, Jim's here, or yesterday that said, hey, Jessica, do you need help getting us on mobile? Yes, we do need help with that. We need help with everything. And he said, all right, I'll take the action item of starting to get those meetings set up. So that's one of the things that we're able to work on. And that's because people are volunteering their time to help us. And guess what? It'll benefit them too. When people ask to help you, say yes. When people say they need things, try to say yes. That's the answer to all of this. So as we finish up here, what is something you learned today that you can utilize at your company tomorrow? And how can I help you do that? Please email me, tweet me. If you want to Facebook friend me, I'm fine with that too. I am liberal, just so you know. I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, if you have questions or you need help, I'm an innovator. But my goal is enablement. I want to enable all of you just as much as enable my own users. And now it's time for questions. So I have 2 people with microphones, and Brian's going to point at people with their hands up. So go ahead and throw your hands up on in the air.
Your internal training, is this training that you've developed in-house using your data, or is it generic Tableau training?
So it's kind of generic. So on the desktop side, we do use the sales data that's available out of box. But this server training, we provide internal training. So I walk them through the environments in Tableau Server. I walk them through putting in project requests, and I walk them through publishing. So that is very internalized.
Hi. I have a question because my team is just going to be starting the COE actually when we get back from the conference. So they just created this new team, but all of us had a lot of work coming into it. So we're kind of bringing in that development responsibilities for different business units that we were supporting, and we're trying to figure out how much time can we actually commit to COE responsibilities. And so you mentioned that there's you and another, and then there's like 10 more who are supporting your users. And I'm wondering, do any of you guys have to do dashboard development? And I noticed you guys aren't even doing like data governance stuff yet, which is something that we're going to have to do. So
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what are all the responsibilities that you guys, that the dozen or so of you have to do?
Yeah, we don't have time to do dashboard development. That's what I was telling somebody the other day. I used to be like, I felt like I was on the path for ninja stardom in Tableau Desktop when I first started in Tableau, but now we're focused on Tableau Server. We're focused on COE and process. So we don't have as much time as we used to on Tableau Desktop. But so when people are first starting, if they have a big project effort, sometimes we reach out to Tableau, and they, Lovecash will help them initially, but at some point they have to pay for consultant services. Again, my user group leaders, if somebody's working on a dashboard or need to get started and they're using huge data sources or something like that, a lot of my user groups will say, hey, give me a call and we can kind of walk through. They're doing this. So, but our team, we don't, other than, our Postgres admin dashboards, we don't spend a lot of time building dashboards anymore. Does that help at all? Okay. It's just about what we're capable of getting done, and that's not one of them.
Hi, Jessica. My question is about your relationship with the Tableau team members, how it first started, and where you see it going in the future.
With our Tableau software team?
The Tableau team members that you work with, yes.
Okay, yeah. So Sue and Kelly and Lovecash, Sue's in the back there. I talk to Sue probably every day almost. It feels like sometimes we talk for, we'll talk for 5 minutes, or we'll talk for an hour or 2 hours, or, we'll talk about everything that we're doing, everything that we're working on. If I need something, I reach out to her. In the future, I know that I talked to Dan Miller. Is that his name, Sue? Okay, so Dan Miller, I guess he's a VP at Tableau, and he is working on setting up customer success managers at Tableau, and those things are not profit lines of business. So he's talked to us about bringing those customer success managers into Schwab and helping us go to the next level. So there are our work with Tableau will not end anytime soon, and I don't believe that you ever finished improving, or that there's a top of the ladder to get to. I believe that it's continuous. Things change, and our team and our processes and our technology need to change along with those things. And I'm hoping our people say the same, because I love our customers, but and those people change too. We have new users every day, so things have got to change based on that.
Hi. I think one of the things that prevents our organization to move forward with Tableau adoption and server is sort of we also have many department or divisions publishing dashboards that could have the same data point, but they're not the same. So as we think about starting a COE, that's the thing that we get pushed on the most is from an enterprise level, from the exec level, how do you manage that?
Yeah.
how would you manage that data governance component?
Yeah, and that's something, DOS and I are going to be working on this year. But as far as I'm concerned, if that's what your leadership is telling you to focus on, I would take that back to your end users. In my Tableau user group, I go, hey, this is something that our leadership is asking us to focus on. How do we share data sources? How do we have one governed data source for each team or for each module or for, each project? How does that work out? And, get feedback from your users and then develop it from there. Because believe me, these people know what they're doing. They know their data, and these are the people that have the ideas on moving forward. It's not just us, right? We're not always the smartest person in the room. These guys are all geniuses out there, so utilize them.
Yeah, hi. Question on the 200 projects that you said, project folders you have, and about 120 different departments. And can you comment on how are you organizing your projects? Is it by departments and others free for all? Anybody can create anything? And do you also have just one site or multiple sites?
So we do have multiple sites. We have one that actually people from outside of Schwab have access to, and we have one set up for branch leadership reporting. So this is, again, the branches. They might not need access to everything else in Tableau Server. So basically how we set up our projects is people put in project requests. The first thing my team does is go into Tableau Server and make sure there's no other projects that these people can be publishing into. And I'm telling you, about probably 50% of the time, there's usually a project that is already available, and that guy just wasn't aware that it was out there because he didn't have access, right? Because you can't see everything all the time. So that's the first thing that we do. The second thing we do is provide those project leaders with training on managing their projects. Because guess what? Deepak and I don't have time to set up your permissions in your projects. And then we provide security access. We create 3 different basically Active Directory groups for each project initially. So we have a publishers group, a project leader group, and an interactor group. And then from there, sometimes people do dashboard level security. So on those ones, people will start setting up additional security groups. So, but yeah, it's kind of up to the project leader. Again, we're there to support and assist them. And as long as they're using those security groups, then the sky's the limit on how they want to handle it from there.
So I'm kind of curious, where does your group sit within the organization, and how did you get the initial funding as well as the funding to expand the group?
So initially, the funding came in, like I said, ITS MBI had set Tableau Server up initially. From there, now we are, Deepak and I are both in the Global Data Technology team, and our funding comes from our business partner side of the house. So Das says, don't ask for any more money this year, Jessica. So Das Srinivasan, are you in the room somewhere? Oh, there he is. So Das right there. So we ask him for a lot of money, and then he goes off to the leadership. So he owns Tableau, the tool. I own Tableau, the IT side of it. And so if I need money for Tableau Server, or if I need to bring a consultant in for 3 months to help me with a project or anything like that, I'll reach out to Das to see what we need to do to get that in place. Yes. Hello.
Hi. I was curious if you had any pointers for user group members spread across multiple time zones as far as holding meetings or anything
We're all
like that?
across America. So we generally just try to have our meetings in the morning. That's kind of our rule of thumb. I know Jason Eisman, where are you at, Jason? Where aren't you in the front? Jason over there, he's in Orlando. And then some of our other users, Brian is in Orlando as well. So we do have users across the country, even up in North Raleigh, Chicago, and we're located in Phoenix. So our rule of thumb is to have the meetings in the morning. Sometimes that means that I'm having a meeting over lunch. But we do our best to accommodate everybody in our meetings. Hello.
Thank you first for candidly sharing your experiences. I have a question about one of your data points. You mentioned that your reporting has gone from 700 dashboards to now over 1,200. How do you go about handling the challenges that come with the proliferation of reporting? For example, different dashboards containing similar information, or worse yet, having similar data points, but because they're cut and defined differently, causing conflicting insights within the organization?
You know, I guess in a way we work on, you know, case-by-case basis if something comes up. These guys, our ABI team is our biggest group of Tableau desktop users. These guys are like masters of Tableau. So Brian here, he's a ninja. He's using R. He's amazing at this stuff. So if something comes up, usually, you know, we look at it, we take it as a team approach. So we'll get on a call and we'll work through them. If we see something that stands out, or, you know, when somebody has a data source that is taking over 2 hours to load into Tableau server and it's failing every time, you know, we'll reach out and we'll meet with those people and discuss their options on fixing them. We also use UltraX at our company. And I know with Maestro, I'm horrible with that word, Maestro. I'm just going to call it the Big M. So when the Big M comes out next year, that'll also, I'm thinking that's going to replace a lot of what we're using UltraX for. And I also believe that, you know, the other tool that comes alongside with it with Hyper, that'll take a lot of the pressure out of UltraX as well. So.
Question.
Sure.
Hi, how do you determine the frequency at upgrading your servers? And as you know, Tableau upgrades so fast. By the time you pinpoint a version and go through all the testing and downtime, they're in 10.4, 10.5.
That's our constant struggle. So it's so funny. When I came back from the Tableau servers conference last year, I sent an email out saying, "Hey, I'm looking for pilot users," and my plan was to get into the next version by February of last year. And in that time, we had somebody leave our team, and then we had a big project come in where we had to put that physical server environment together. It was kind of one thing after another, so the pilot kind of got put on hold. When Deepak came into our company, like 2 weeks after he started, I'm like, all right, Tableau 10, we need to focus on getting this done. So we put a project plan together, and then we started going through the exercise. We actually put a whole new a whole new virtual environment together to put Tableau 10 in place. So our pilot users are actually using our new production server, whether they're aware of that or not. And then our current environment it will be turned off about a week after we move everybody over into the new environment. But yeah, it's hard, and we're even talking about doing the next upgrade 10.5 in January or February. But our processes at Schwab, they take you through the ringer. I mean, and it's for a good reason, but change requests have to be in 2 weeks ahead of time, and you have to go through a disaster recovery exercise before you can upgrade, and there's all of these different things that are in place process-wise at Schwab that we have to go through. So so we'll do our best in having Deepak, and apparently he likes to work 18 hours every day. So having him in place has really changed the way that we're able to get things done. So we're hoping faster.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for sharing. Got two questions. One, both relating, I guess, around training. So one's regarding the project leaders, I think you call them. Do you go put them through any type of special certification or training or some sort of crowning process that appoints them as project leaders? And then just training generally. So who's responsible for training desktop across your organization, and who does that?
So basically, other than the new user training, people are kind of on their own right now. So that's what we're talking about next year, getting people certified in training. And as part of that, I'd like to put a certification program in just for using Tableau. And again, my goal is not to make you feel stupid or like you don't know what you're doing with Tableau. It's just to make sure that you guys are aware of its capabilities and aware of where to find resources so that you can grow into the future with it. I want you to be successful in using it. So there's a lot we need to put into training Schwab. But again, we have big teams that are using, and a lot of times, there's multiple people from one team that'll work together and make sure that everybody's trained. So we utilize those people. Hello.
Oh, thanks for the presentation, Jessica. That was excellent.
Thank you.
You guys seem to use Tableau support more than other companies that I've seen. I'm just kind of wondering, are your desktop users going directly to Tableau support logging cases, or are you guys kind of triaging that before it goes to Tableau support?
Yeah, so it depends. So sometimes people email us or the community page, and they'll say, hey, I'm having trouble building this calculation or doing something. So those ones that we know aren't actual broken issues, we'll try to fix internally. You know, sometimes on extract failures or issues like that that aren't necessarily internal, we will have them reach out and open cases with Tableau. And again, Nyana, Deepak, and I, we review those cases all once a week and make sure that everybody's taken care of. And usually Nyana is gone, all right, I've reached out to these 4 people that opened cases this week, and they're all taken care of. But if it's something on the server that we need to look into, then we'll work on that as well. And yeah, we do. They're as much as part of my team as Deepak is or any of these other guys. So yeah, we do utilize them heavy, but I don't think they care. Hopefully not. Hello.
Hi, how are you? So actually, I have sort of 2 questions. So you talked about the platform that you have now. So basically, I think you have 1,100 users daily and up to 200 concurrent users. Mm-hmm. So for the 80 core plus you're going to combine, what is like the growth there that you're expecting in the future in terms of users and concurrency? And then also, because I work in wealth management as well, so the second part is, how many dashboards for you guys go out to like anyone in the field for like advisors? And if stuff is going out, in our case, all the information there needs to be like rock solid before it goes out to any advisor. Like, how do you kind of handle that?
So as far as our projects go, the project owners are in charge of how that process works. So like the ABI team, for instance, they really utilize the dev environment. They heavily test theirs, and then they have automation put in place to publish those things into Tableau and to production. Other teams, on the other hand, may publish something that looks like an Excel dashboard, and then their team goes, wait, Tableau can do way better than this, and then they'll get feedback, but it's already in production. So it's really up to the project leaders. I wish we had maybe better guidelines in place for telling people, like, here's what our expectations are in Tableau Server, but we don't pick on people unless there's a data issue or something that's causing issues in Tableau Server. We don't have enough time to focus on individuals. Again, we're looking at enterprise. So, but yeah, we do put a lot on our project owners and our project leaders, but if they need help at all managing their project, or they have questions, or how should they be doing something better, either Deepak and I will work with them, or we'll set up a meeting with Sue and Lovecash and Kelly, and we'll talk about it as a group.
Hi. So you mentioned you have a separate analytics and BI team. How does your team interact with that team, and kind of what responsibilities fall under your purview and what responsibilities fall under their purview?
What do you think, Jared? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yep. So that's kind of how it separates.
And so the analytics and BI team is developing visualizations.
Yep. Yeah. All of these people are developing. Yes. But it basically works the same way with all of our teams. Although we do have weekly meetings with the ABI teams and with our business partners. So that if there are questions or if there are issues on my side, I say, we need to buy 2 more backgrounders because this stuff is, causing everybody to go really slow. So those are things we discuss in these meetings. And if they have a big project coming up, they reach out to us and let us, or in this meeting, they discuss it freely with everybody, and everybody kind of comes up with, ideas on how we're going to take that project forward.
Jessica, over here to the right.
Oh, hi.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It's fantastic, by the way.
Thanks.
About your SharePoint, are you guys actually embedding Tableau Server into your SharePoint site?
Sure, yes.
And what's your use case on that?
So we do have a lot of teams that are actually embedding in SharePoint. I'm not sure what you mean by what our use case is. I just want to make sure that people are able to get to that report easily. We also have those same reports available in Tableau Server, and they're open for everybody to view. But we have teams that, they have executive dashboards on their SharePoint site, and then they have, links to each of the dashboards into their Tableau Server project. It just kind of makes it easy for an executive to go somewhere where maybe there's, different project information and different information that maybe is not in Tableau server to get it a one-stop shop.
Gotcha.
So and that's kind of the same theory we use on the our Tableau COE, or Jumpword Tableau.
Do you use any mobile applications or portal or mobile bootstrap?
Not yet. So as I mentioned earlier, where I just talked to somebody yesterday, I wanted to do that about a year ago too. I've been wanting to do a lot of things, but it's hard to kind of conquer those things on your own. But so we'll be teaming up with one of our business partners over the next few months, and hopefully we can get that in place by early next year. One of those things, we have a Schwab app on our work phones, and if your app is not on the Schwab app, guess what? You're not allowed to download it onto your iPhone. So they send you these emails the next day. They go, you must disable and abandon this application as soon as possible, or your career is over. So yes. And they have a picture of a guy hanging. No, I just joke. But so we need to get these things certified as far as Tableau certified, but we need to get the Tableau mobile app certified so that our users can start using it on their iPhones.
And is the infrastructure all on-prem or in cloud?
I'm sorry?
Your infrastructure for Tableau server, is it on-prem or cloud?
We have a virtual and a physical, and both of them are housed in-house. So.
Thank you.
Question over here. I love the SharePoint site that you guys have put together. I was curious if you also have something embedded in that for people to request your resources, whether it's for training, putting in new projects, and how you prioritize that.
That's funny you mentioned that. I actually told Deepak, I said, we need to get like a request log. Like, even if it's something for drivers, or, hey, I need, some assistance. We're going to be bringing a terabyte of data into these dashboards. I need some assistance in walking through this use case. And so we're going to be adding that in. So I mentioned that to Deepak, and he's like, Jessica, what do you mean? We don't really need this. They can just email us. And I was like, yeah, but then we could track. But so I think he's with me. But we're going to get that in the next week or two. So, but yes, thank you for bringing that up so I can remind him.
That's my work this week. But
He'll probably get it in tonight. He'll be like, Jessica, I stayed up all night and put it in. You don't have to do it in Vegas, buddy.
Any more questions?
Anybody? All right, I want to get my guys in blue, and also anybody else from Schwab to stand up really fast. And also Angie and Keith. These are my partners, and these are the people that support, and I love each and every one of you dearly, so thank you for being part of my journey. All right, and thank you guys for all being here today. Appreciate it.